Freestyle challenge.
Yes.
Oxford, go.
Oxford, you probably never heard of me, but I heard about this place and the university. I'm the average fella. That lady's rocking a nice black umbrella. Seems to me we got some crazy weather. So it's freestyle, just like that. Got me shook. Maybe I should be studying social sciences at Oxford Brookes.
Who are you and what's your function?
My name is My name is Testament. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a rapper, beatboxer, hip hop producer, and I'm taking my first foray into the world of theatre. Apparently.
You just listed all the things that you do.
Yes.
Why do you do all these things? What is it about them?
Because I need to be employed, really.
Yeah,
and
that's a problem.
And I'm not. There's not enough work just as a rapper. I'm kind of jack of all trades, master of ceremonies.
So what do you get from these? I mean, you seem like someone who has to do something with a purpose and a charge.
Yeah, well remembered from the talk.
I use that word, charge.
Okay, so yeah, I think I like doing creative things. I like it showing off, and if I can do that in a way that just isn't just me going on a big self-indulgent fest, then there's enough things to talk about in the world, and I think there's enough people that we need to connect with properly. So like I'm called Testament because when I first started, I made a promise that I would try and do something that testament means promise, means covenant, and that wouldn't be just ego driven, but would be outward driven and
to serve a purpose.
To serve a purpose, to serve God, to serve people.
So do you have like an overall message that you can look back at your work and say, I was saying this in and this in, that's consistent?
Yeah, generally my music, if you dig deep enough, you'll see it basically. Its testament says that he's messed up and broken, but there's hope, and the world's messed up and broken, but there's hope, and there's good things out there, and the world can be a very colourful and beautiful place, even though most of the time the way we perceive it is mashed up and horrible, and that includes looking at myself, a bit looking at the mirror, thinking I look a bit mashed up and horrible, but you know what? There's hope. Yeah. Not surgery, but they're just, but
that's quite expensive, and with the employment issue as well, that could.
No, I'm saying. Now is the hour when the darkness reigns. It's like I can't see how things can start to change. In the moon's masquerade, fools charm their way. In tune between the rock and the hardest place, the harshest fate. My mood is past heavyweight. We too are lost in this vast array. Even the sun meditates on the martyr's wage. In the eclipse, I remember words my father said. He said, sleep is a gift from God. And sometimes you look around at this world, you can see why.
You're working on Blake's work at the moment.
Yes.
Right. I didn't really know much about Blake, being honest.
Really?
And... Oh, God.
Not really? Not really.
I thought you were going to go get me a book and say,
screw
read
this!
Yeah. But the way that you've talked about him, could you just explain to everybody why they should go away and learn more about Blake and what he's done and what he did and what he's saying?
If you don't know about William Blake, you've felt his repercussions, but you haven't realised it. He's totally all over our British culture. He's in the background. The things he has set precedents. So the way in which we view artists as... he comes out of the Romantic movement, which means we appreciate artists as having value and truth to share with the world, and having a deeper insight. And this idea of the sort of the lone poet going on a sort of mad eccentric bender, but to touch some other realm and come and bring back truth for us, and something that's beyond the everyday. That's one of the things that Blake pioneered. So when you think about whether it's your favourite rock star who you think, oh yeah, they're kind of cosmic and they're bringing something to the people, that's how I see it. And in hip-hop, the MC is kind of like that sort of prophet figure. Unfortunately, most of the time, the thing that they preach and the prophesy about is about materialism and nonsense. But there are figures in there who are very Blakean and that will give us that light. So this is Auguries of Innocence. You can't really F with that. Can't mess with that. Like the first 4 lines: to see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Can't mess with that, right? I decided to use his first 4 lines as a hook and then rap my rant, inspired by his rant. So he has loads of things about birds and animals being injured. It's interesting. Check it out. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. The auguries of innocence, the signs of the inner child. Glimpse the divine in your earths around. Lost in the glimmer of the city light's fluorescent smile. The death of Albion, demise of the British Isles. Conspiracy theorists theorized but got it twisted. Believe in the devil but not deliverance. I know the sickness of the wicked protesting their innocence. It's like faith is never blind if you've got visions. It's like the caged birds singing, heaven in rage, because they enslaved the robin, tore the feet off the pigeon, censored all the thinking, distorted all religion to become just a synonym for judging and malicious, as if love is imprisoned. Clipped the wings off the skylark and injured our innocence. A life so intricately simple, linked to your spirit as a witness. Even the infant's innocence senses the infinite. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold eternity. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour.
I want you to just putting you on the spot, I just want you to pick one song which you've personally learnt from, whether it be hip-hop, a rock song, whatever.
Any song.
And any song that you've learnt from and that also other people could learn from, and just explain it.
So I've got to pick a random song.
Well,
not a Blake song.
No.
I'm talking about a song.
A song, like a pop culture song, so that the youth of today could, you know,
that I've learned from.
Could just take time out, go look at this song, and then really delve deep into it and think they could benefit from this.
Steep. So there's a rap by a group called De La Soul, called an album called Stakes is High. Get the whole album. Don't waste your life. Get the whole album. But there's a song, the title track called Stakes is High. You kind of realise, oh, that's how hip hop should be done. It's clever, it's witty, it talks about the world, it's self-depreciating and self-aggrandizing, and it's just a good social commentary, emotional commentary on the world. I'm sick of cocaine and crack. Sorry. So one of the rappers says, I'm sick of cocaine and crack that brings sickness to black. I'm sick of swollen head rappers that they're sicker than raps. He's just got bars, meaning good lyrics. Another line on the album is, because most rappers use similes in a really self-aggrandizing way, so they'll be like, yo, I'm as cold as ice, or... I'm
as cold as ice.
Yeah, or there's some really bad ones in hip-hop, like Jennifer Lopez says, you got me hot like an oven, and you think, yeah, that's a really poor simile.
Like a really, really, really hot oven.
It's
like
poor. But De La Soul say, De La Soul's here to stay, like racism.
Do you listen to much Outkast?
Yeah, Outkast is another one. So like, they're incredible.
Because the song that came to mind for me was, you know that song, Get Up, Get Out. You gotta get up, get out and get...
Okay.
I really love that song because if you're wallowing in your own... I think it's from Southern Playalistic Music.
That big one.
Like, if you're just sitting there feeling sorry for yourself all the time, you need to get up and get out and do something, and I think that could help so many people today.
No doubt. No doubt. Again, like, those are one of the... Like when you think of Andre 3000, so again, you've got someone there who is constantly coming up with new forms of creativity. Someone who's use of media, working in different art forms, and is an eccentric as you like. Again, he's a Blakean dude, and he's got social commentary going on. He's aware of his own weaknesses. He's got a little bit of want to be a bit of a player and stuff like that. But generally, like, he's one of those like street intellectuals. When you think of William Blake, he's a street intellectual, self-taught dude from working class stock, using words and music and art. You ready?
Give me what you got.
You need to be listening to Pav Ray channel. Peace.